Ayub was like really upset and stressed, and we didn't know why. And it turned out that it was an ice cream machine that was quite far away that was beeping like beep beep, beep beep, beep beep.
Hi, my name is Andi Meranti. I am an autistic book writer.
Hello, my name is Ayub. I am 14 years old and I am autistic. This is my mom. She is old and she is not autistic.
Hi, my name is Khor and I have a daughter who is autistic.
How old were you when you were diagnosed with autism, and how did you feel when you found out?
I was 2 years old. I was too young, so I don't remember. You can ask my parents about that.
I don't remember.
Ayub was 7 years old when he was diagnosed with autism.
I feel like it's just a word.
She was 12 years old when we found out that she was autistic. I had long suspected that she had it, but I could never get an official diagnosis.
We had been searching for a diagnosis since he was about 2 years old. Brought him to a lot of specialists and hospitals, to different therapists and doctors. Initially, they diagnosed him wrong and said that he was dyslexic. And finally, we got the proper diagnosis when he was 7. So it was a relief to be able to know and to also find out the proper ways to support him and encourage him to be awesome the way he is.
Girls get diagnosed late usually, and that was exactly the case for us. The stereotypical symptoms for autism doesn't always show up in girls at a young age. And girls do generally mask their symptoms very well. There was frustration, not knowing what's going on and being told of some other diagnosis.
Not knowing where to start with children, especially when they're little. It could be so many different things. Yeah, so it was a very frustrating journey for us.
What are some of the autistic traits that you have?
Some of the autistic traits I have is my ability to maintain friendships. I have improved on that.
Ayub has always kind of struggled with communication, both verbal and non-verbal. He doesn't really understand jokes and sarcasm so well, so we do have to explain it to him, otherwise he will get upset.
My daughter is non-verbal. She has social anxiety. She would communicate with me mainly in writing. She will speak only to a very small group of friends whom she trusts. In a social setting, she's very uncomfortable to be in.
I also have a bit of anxiety and a rigid way of thinking. I'm more improved compared to the past. And the past traits I used to have, one of them is the hearing sensitivity. Noisy things like vacuum cleaner and thunder. Well, the thunder is now more of a fear than a sensitivity.
Ayub also has a lot of stims, which he does. They're repetitive movements that will help him regulate his emotions. Yes, like that. Most of the time, he doesn't even realize that he's doing them, and they can be physical stims, such as walking around, or clapping his hands, or doing this with your fingers. You like to do that a lot.
Wait, I do?
Yeah, he doesn't even notice that he's doing it. And then he does a lot of verbal stims as well, like that one's my favorite.
I had suspected that I could be on a spectrum, but I'm not entirely sure. I do exhibit a bit of the traits for ASD.
Can you describe what sensory overload feels like, and what are the common triggers for you personally?
Sensory overload makes me feel a bit stressed and panicked. And some of the triggers for it, I'd say, were maybe like loud noises or very bright lights. Maybe like a lot of things happening at once.
8 or 9 years old, and we were in a shopping mall at the center court of a mall. And everyone was just busy shopping. We were looking at like this sale of toys and stuff. All the other kids were happy and excited, and Ayub was like really, really upset and stressed, and we didn't know why. And it turned out that it was an ice cream machine that was quite far away that was beeping like beep, 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 just over and over again. But for us, it was like just a distant sound that was in the background. But for Ayub, he was really agitated, so we had to leave.
It can make you feel really tired and overwhelmed. Like for example, during my first year of the net selling, I was not used to being a crowded, noisy place. But I've improved since then.
So I'm going to read out my daughter's answers. So she says, multiple sources of noises / sensory at once, having to walk through a busy crowd while your clothing is bothering you because of the texture, too many tasks that feel overwhelming, especially without instructions, such as going to the shopping store without a list, being presented a long task with multiple steps all at once.
When it's too much for him to handle, two things can happen. One is that he might have a meltdown where he just kind of can't stop crying. And it's kind of like a panic attack, I would say, right? Where there's a lot of anxiety and he's unable to move, unable to speak, and he just gets stuck there and he will just start sobbing. On the flip side is that he will shut down. So it's like he just disappears inside himself. There's no facial expression, he cannot speak, he cannot communicate, he's not able to move even, so we will have to like physically get him, like grab him and like move him away from where he's upset so that he can like calm down on his own.
Has your daughter ever tried therapy? If so, what type and how did it help?
I've tried many therapies, though most of them I have forgotten also since they just come and go.
So she started having depression around 12 years old. She stopped talking completely by then. She was completely just shutting down. I brought her to see a child psychiatrist who then finally diagnosed her with autism. She made a breakthrough with her in the sense that it helped her through her depression. You could see her starting to smile and just beginning to function more normally than before.
The best therapy that we went for was speech therapy, because when he was a little boy, he really struggled with his words and being able to tell us what he wanted and how he felt. So having a speech therapist actually show him a range of emotions and teach him how to point to them if he's feeling something, teach him how to use his words so that he's able to speak, even teaching him non-verbal communication, like what does it mean when somebody frowns, what does it mean when they cross their arms.
I feel like I could control my actions. I could finally talk to people for what I have done or what they have probably done. Everything is a bit calmer and everything is easygoing.
It has helped with my muscle tone so I could write faster and easier, and my multitasking so I can be able to write while I talk or watch TV. There's some RDI therapy that helped me improve my flexibility and relationship skills.
I felt a lot better for sure. Relief. Finding the right fit with a therapist or a psychologist is not easy. It took us a long while to get someone who could relate to her and is familiar with her condition.
What is the biggest misconception people have towards autistic people?
They are worser, maybe a bit dumber than all the rest, less self-aware about their surroundings.
I feel upset, obviously, as a mom. There have been times when we get stares from strangers when we're out in public because Ayub is happily stimming by himself, you know. He could just be skipping around in a circle and he's not hurting anybody. He's just a happy little boy playing by himself.
Generally, it has been quite positive. Maybe there may have been occasions some lady commented about my child's appearance at that time. Back when she was depressed, she wouldn't wash her hair, She wouldn't want people to touch her hair, so there was no haircut. So her bangs were you know, down past her eye. So yeah, that does generate comments. I shrug it off. As best as I can, we try to get out of such a situation. And that includes walking away.
Autism is a disorder or way of being, but there are people who think autism is a curable disease when it isn't. It is frustrating, but I'm mature enough to ignore those people.
I think that one is the one that upsets me, is when they say he's not autistic, he's normal, as if being autistic is something that's abnormal. So I think there needs to be a change in the way that people perceive autistic people and neurodiverse people in general. It's not about being normal and abnormal. It's just you're either neurodiverse or you're neurotypical, and there's no good or bad. There's no better or worse. It's just that is what it is.
What can the general public do to help autistic people?
I'd say make them feel more welcome and make them feel like a home. Maybe be kinder to those who are different to us.
I would suggest that they can do is be kind, be inclusive, and keep them safe.
To have a safe space, we need people to understand more about the conditions of anyone who has been diagnosed with autism. Having a better understanding then will lead us to provide safer places for them to be in.
Yesterday, I was in Sunway Putra Mall, known as the Autism Fundway Mall. They have gone through different measures to make sure that autistic people have a good experience. They have these calm rooms, isolating safe spaces for autistic people be able to calm down, relax, and rest their senses.
When you feel included, and you will more likely be a more productive person in our efforts to build our nation.
Definitely safe places for kids is lacking in Malaysia. Just places where they can be themselves without judgment. We're celebrating Autism Awareness Month, and we hope that you learned something from watching this video.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!